Hey everybody, welcome to Power Hour, starring the dynamic duo of Tiger and Ronster. And now joining me from all the way across the pond, as we say in the United Kingdom, Giles, Tiger, Thomas. What's up, Giles? We're talking about Japan Pro today. It's one of the last shows. There's only two more open shows this year. This one is happening on a Monday. Can you believe that? A Monday. What's up with these crazy Japanese people? Yes, it's true. It's true. I checked the website several times to confirm this. So it is not over the weekend. It's Monday, which, maybe that's part of the weekend in Japan. I don't know. Guys in the comments, you could let me know if that's a thing over there. But I was surprised when I saw the lineup. We got some really good names doing this show. You want to start with who I see as the favorite to win? Sure.
Hang on. Yeah, to be honest, Ron. Interesting. Before we get started, isn't it interesting now that we've got these shows popping up that really are unexpected? Because Poland has turned out to be. I mean, there's been so many good shows. It's difficult to kind of pick out some of the best. But Poland was a really, really exciting lineup and a show that I kind of didn't expect. And now we've got this Japan. I mean, it wasn't even on my radar, mate. This show. I was thinking about Romania, Prague, and all the others, and now we've got all these new, and also over this side of the Atlantic as well. So it's really exciting to see these new shows and having good lineups. I mean, how many's in this lineup, mate?
The total, geez, let me see if I can get a count for you. I'm going to estimate, it looks to be about 25 guys in the open. Wow. A lot of them are from China, Korea, Japan, but I'm surprised we also have Australia, USA, 2 from the UK, United Arab Emirates, Australia again, Russia, Iran, Thailand, France, Poland, Spain, India. Actually, I think Iran again. I think Czech Republic. It might be closer to 30 guys. I didn't do a count on it, but I am surprised the lineup because I remember, sometimes I can be that guy who's just so dismissive, who's going to go to Japan and do the Japan Pro? Probably it's going to be nobody in that show that I would even know. But it turns out there's some really good people doing the show, some big names, and I'm going to check it out. Where before I had very little interest in it.
But thing is, we've always kind of acknowledged that America, Canada, or whatever that side of the Atlantic is very much dominating bodybuilding with the terms of quality, quantity. That's everyone else follows suit. But now you think about how some of these European shows and further afield, the kind of line like Dubai and all these different shows, now we've got strong pro lineups, especially in the open, all over the world now. So because we've had I don't want to say there's a couple of shows where we've had 6 or 7 in the open. Yeah. And now we're kind of coming back to those the kind of 90s numbers when there was only the Ironman, the Arnold, Houston. Then there would be a break, and then there'd be some the Night of Champions and Chicago and all these other shows. But now we've kind of got, not only have we got all over the world, but also throughout the year, we've got decent, actually very, very decent lineups in terms of quality and quantity. Yeah, and I'm here for it.
This is the last show of the year, and it's almost the last show is Big Man Pro in Spain. That's November 30th. It's almost the end of the whole year of the Tiger Mug. So. But yeah, let's get into it because this was a surprise. Doing the Open. Now he's done Open before. He won the Legion Pro as an Open. We're talking about former 212 Olympia champion Shaun Clarida, the Giant Killer. I didn't expect him to be competing still. This is, I think we're 6 weeks post Olympia at this point. It's 6 or 7 weeks. And I know you've been messaging him. Do you know what made him pick this show and this late in the season?
I have no idea. And I've actually sent him a text maybe an hour or so ago, expecting a response. Because the Japan show itself, it kind of wasn't on my radar. I wasn't really thinking about it. It wasn't sort of something that was at the front of my mind. So I've not even asked him because I know the thing is with Shaun, he does these kind of unpredictable things. He kind of stays quiet. That's him as a bodybuilder, really, isn't it? He's someone who just kind of gets to work, goes to, stays quiet. And then just makes these decisions. I can't imagine this being a sort of last minute decision because, after the Olympia, you're either done or you're not. Because after the Olympia, usually, and most of them usually announce what they're doing. But he's obviously kept this quiet because I wasn't expecting to see him still be competing. And I mean, Shaun actually really brings a lot of excitement because he is the true, the example of why the 212 was brought in, but he kind of turns that on its head because then he goes and does these open shows. And think about it, right? I know we had Jose Raymond and like Flex Lewis in 2011, experimenting with 202, then 212 shows. But Shaun Clarida was the first one to really, when the 212 was really properly established, because it took a few years to kind of find its feet. But Shaun was the first one to really dip his toes outside when the Legion, was it 21? The Legion fought.
Yeah, 21.
So it was 21. The fact that he was one of the first to, dip his toes outside of the 212 and be successful. And the fact that he's not like a guy that sort of his natural best weight is at 215, 220, and he has to really suck it. Like kind of like Flex Lewis was. Flex Lewis's best was like 225, his best physique. But unfortunately, he wasn't, he felt like he wasn't big enough and heavy enough to do well in the open. So he kind of just used to suck it down and do 212. But with Shaun, like he's like, he's like a legit 180 guy. Yeah. So the fact that he also, whilst doing well as a 212, and then stepped into the open and has done well. I mean, remember when he did the 23 Arnold and he got that call out next to Ramy, who was looking back to how Ramy is like, he's the ultimate giant, to slay. And there's like Clarida, like really holding his own against him. So one of the reasons, I did that big post yesterday about Shaun. It took me about 3 hours to do this post.
Wow. No, I didn't know.
Because I kept going through the pictures because I've got photos on my phone going back to 2017. And I've got like history going back with Shaun, as long as that. But I wanted to take something that, that represented a time where I've got a personal connection to that athlete, whether it be an article, an interview, when I've gone to his apartment in Vegas on the weekend of the Olympia with Hector, that's in there. We did that sort of because we had a bit of time. Me and Hector had a bit of time to kill because we flew in early. So we decided to go around and we went Brandon Curry, went to his hotel. Then we got in the SUV and then went to track Shaun down because I had the number, so I was just texting him, and he said, "Yeah, come over now." So we did an interview. So stuff like that. So anyway, I found all these videos and photos going over like 8 years, and then I went off. I did something, and for some reason I came back and the whole thing had gone. Then I had to type the post, and then it was too long, so I had to keep editing it down, copy and pasting, and editing it down. So literally, I think I spent 3 hours on this bloody post. Shaun's always been one of my favorites, and I think he's got a real. I mean, to me, I remember the article I wrote in MD, which I also referenced in the post. Go check it out. I said about how there's more than one reason why he's been likened to like basically. He's referenced as like a 212 version of Ronnie Coleman, not just with the style of his physique, but also the way that he literally started at the bottom and just worked his way up every single year. I mean, it's like his career is just, every single year he would go away, take the critique, make the improvements come, and literally every single year he'd get bigger and better, bigger and better. And his placings would just go up and up and up and up. And he's done all these open shows as a way to really test himself. And to be honest, I think my level of respect for Shaun as an athlete, let alone as a person, is one of the reasons why he's one of my all-time favorite pros, not just 212s.
Yeah, I mean, this is a guy that when he turned pro, he was told that night, your career is over. You're done. Don't even bother. So he believed in himself all those years when no one else did. He's an underdog now trying to get his Olympia title back from the genetic god that is known as Keon. But man, he still works. He's the working man's bodybuilder. He's like that Branch Warren, Dorian Yates, just blood and guts, heavy weight, covered up. You have to admire someone like that just puts that kind of effort out on a day-to-day basis.
He's one of those guys like Ronnie and Dorian that I know Ronnie used to take a bit of time off after the Olympias, but he's one of those guys as well. If you look at, because I don't really like training content on sort of social media stuff. I find it really boring and repetitive. But Shaun is the one that I can watch again. I can watch it every single day, and I can watch it all year round because he's someone that he's hitting the free weights, the hard, heavy exercises, and he's someone that I remember the days when we'd all like psych ourselves up for a big set, and you go in the gyms now and everyone's just down on their phones and they're just they're texting and they're checking Instagram. They're actually talking on the phone. I've seen one guy doing leg extensions, one arm shoulder presses on the phone, and then you get someone like Shaun who's so refreshing because he is so old school. because he's hitting it hard. I mean, if you noticed in his gym, even when he's training, because it's his gym, it's his own private gym, he's never got any music. He's usually training alone. He's just him and his bloody tripod with his camera and stuff. And I just love the fact he's just he's the kind of like either like the guys in the 80s and 90s. They're just hitting it hard. It's all about the training, and they sort of they're hitting it hard all year round. I love that kind of work ethic and that grit and that determination. You know, when have you ever heard him complain or bitch or moan or do anything? It's just he's so refreshing, Shaun. I just wish we had more like him, to be honest, mate. And
I've never seen one salty post if he didn't win a contest either. Wow. No crying. There's no crying in bodybuilding.
Exactly.
I want to move on because there's some good guys.
What did Ronnie say? Why complain?
Why complain? Don't
remember what Ronnie said. That he says, "Why complain? Just just go away, go for the judges and the media, find out what you need to improve on, and just come back and come back and come back." I think it's with Shaun. He's not just proved like actual doubters wrong. He's even proved me wrong. Somebody who has a lot of belief in him. Like at the Olympia this year, I did not see him coming in like really challenging Keon, because I think at the pre-judging, I mean, I actually had Shaun winning the pre-judging, but the finals, obviously, I think Keon, just pulled ahead enough. But I think we expected it to be quite a big difference between first and second. But that was a close one, I think. And like I said, even as a huge fan of Shaun, I didn't expect it.
Yeah, it was closer than the scorecards indicate, which is often the case. A lot of times, somebody will have a perfect score on the result sheet, but those of us with eyes know it was a lot closer than a perfect score would indicate. It was just a clean sweep, a domination. Shaun held his own, especially in the judging. I thought it was neck and neck between those two during the judging.
100%, mate, 100%. And the fact that how many years ago were a lot of people saying that Shaun's maxed his frame out, and then every year he manages to put on more and more thickness and density. And the thing is, he's not lost his shape. He's not lost anything. He just kind of gets better and better as he goes on. And things with Shaun, he's another one that, from personal experience, he's someone that actually is more impressive in the flesh. Because I remember, it must have been the 22 Olympia when he came out by himself. I remember actually, as soon as he walked off stage, looking down at the photos and videos as I was checking them, and I remember feeling disappointed because I was thinking, that's not what I just saw. I mean, yes, in the photos and videos, he looks phenomenal. But when you actually look through your actual eyes, it's even more impressive. So, Shaun is amazing. And so he's your favorite coming to win this one, is it?
Yes, he is. But he's not the only one. It doesn't mean it's a lock. This youngster from Spain, Juan, God, I'm never going to get it right because people keep telling me I'm saying his name wrong no matter how I say it. So Joan Pradells, I believe this is his 5th show of the season, 5th or 6th. He's been hitting all these shows. He's been 2nd, 3rd, 4th, 5th place, but very, very consistent. He does seem to be getting sharper. This is a diamond in the rough, this guy, this youngster. I think he's 27 or 28 years old. If this was back at what show was this? Was this Prague? He's hit so many Muscle Fest. This is Romania. So yeah, I mean, he needs a little more back. Sure,
Romania, you can see on the backdrop, mate. Come on.
Yeah, I know. Well, I had to move it up on the screen, but I think he could be the one, especially if he's tightened up, which he's had time. He gets sharper and sharper as these shows go on. I could see him possibly getting his first pro win here.
Clarida versus Pradells. Now we're really sort of breaking it down. I think that's exciting, mate, because you've really got me thinking. I mean, obviously Shaun from the back is going to completely take him out from the back shots. I mean, that's not even up for discussion. I mean, because like I said, I saw how do you say it? Juan?
Yeah, just say Juan, I guess.
Okay, Mr. Pradells. Mr. Pradells. In Prague, I mean, he really impressed me. But as soon as he turned to the back, that's the one thing. Kind of like us, everything else is popping. We can clear anyone with eyes and any knowledge of the of bodybuilding can see that these are the future superstars. I mean, they're kind of stars in their own right now, but these are like the actual, like, these are going to be the top 6 Olympia guys in a few years, you know, if not in the next year or two. So these are the ones to watch, because in 5 years' time, they're still going to be early 30s, and they're going to be the ones, you know, sort of taking all those checks in first places. But yeah, I think I think it's going to be interesting, actually, because yeah, Pradells versus Clarida, that's going to be an interesting one. So I think Shaun. Oh God, yeah. Now you're thinking. I think from the back, I think Clarida's he's not gonna have any trouble. But things with Shaun, he never, because he's so far under the 212 weight limit. He's not someone that you think, oh, is he going to bring a completely different package because he hasn't got the weight restriction? Because you know he's going to be in shape, and you know that he's not going to try and do something drastic and try and, you know, come in 10 pound, 15 pound heavier, because he doesn't need to, because he can't, because he's pretty much maxed out as he is at a 212, which is great, which means we always get to see the best version of him. Yeah. So yeah, it's going to be a flip of a coin, this one, mate. But I think if I was pressed, I think Clarida will beat him, mate.
I mean, yeah, he wins the back shots, and if you're talking about muscle detail and condition and muscle quality, all that, of course, Clarida has. You know, Shaun's, I think, 44 years old now. He's got a baby face, but he's got a lot of years of hard, heavy training. He's got that
44. No,
I believe. Well, okay, let's say 40. I know he's over 40.
No, he's yeah, he's over 40. I think about 42. I mean, it's only a year or two, but you know they get very sensitive about their ages. You know, when they get,
I know. I mean,
when us elderly gentlemen get past 35, we get very sensitive about our age. We're like women.
Oh, you're still in your 40s, Giles. You're still a young chap. But,
49.
There's your comment right there. Looking real good. It's telling him, you, Vito, Urs are the megastars of the future, which I totally agree. We're looking at someone, he's not in his final form yet. He's going to get a lot better than this. We're just seeing the early stages of Joan Pradells right now. And I'm anxious to see what he's going to look like in a year or 2 or 3 years. I think he's going to be phenomenal.
Thing is, Ron, I mean, we're making out, like, is the way that people are talking about him, and it's like, who's this guy? He's come from nowhere. Like, he did Empro last year, mate. I
don't remember him.
Because then it was all focus went on Bonac and Crizo, Beruz, obviously, because Beruz was second. So we forget that actually Pradells has actually been around for a couple of years, but now he's kind of made that leap. You know, because think of the guys in their 20s. You're not expecting anything drastic from them, because you know that if they come back, they're just going to get slightly better. But he's taken a really big leap and improvement in the last year, because he has, like I said, he has been around, but he's been like a second, maybe an even third call out. I remember it was only a couple of years ago at a show I was doing commentary at, where, let's see, stop it. Sorry, cat. He was basically sort of touted as, this YouTube star. You know, the ones they compete as well. Some of them literally just trying to think of an example. What was that guy, that tall guy?
Eric Janicki?
Yeah, that guy. Yeah, you know, they sort of let's go. Stop it. Oh, my cat's annoying me, she's distracting me. Bugger off. And it's like, let's see how this big social media translates to the stage and how well he does. And he got his pro card and no one really knows about him. And you know, because like they're a bigger superstar on YouTube and social media than they are as a body. Let's see how he stacks up. And he actually looked okay, but I remember him getting a lot of shit and a lot of criticism. But now he's really starting to sort of come into his own now. And like I said, I mean, I said it there in that post. I think that him, Vito, and Urs, guys like that in their 20s who are already this good, already coming in as potential winners for any pro show. Shows you just how, and like I said, they're probably not even anywhere near hitting their final form. So just imagine, Fouad said it, you know, he said he could see this guy being, I don't disagree with you, that this is the kind of guy we could see as a Mr. Olympia in 5 years. But also one thing I want to bring up, there was a lot of comments. I know you get a lot of the YouTubers and a lot of stuff. They get a lot of hate and critique from people that mostly don't know what they're talking about. But you see people saying he's very unbalanced.
Yes.
I mean, he's got left. I need to probably maybe give it another look and look a bit close. But Ron, I don't see it, mate. What's your take?
So here's what they're talking about. Like, look at this double bicep. The arm on the left, which is his right arm, the bicep is definitely fuller. The other one looks like it might have torn it or something. It's a little shorter. The tricep is fuller. but is that just the angle of how he's standing? Obviously, that's a side shot. I don't see an imbalance in the legs. They were saying one leg's much bigger.
No, it's not like Haddy's, is it?
No. And here's another, the front lat. I don't see the difference between the arms. I don't see it really in that shot. You're not going to see it there. It's negligible to me. It's not a glaring problem at all to me.
I feel like there's a bit of resentment there, a bit of it was like somebody was. I was going back and forth with a Brazilian supposed fan of bodybuilding, and he was ripping into Horse, saying he's never going to win Olympia because he obviously now got Horse MD going back to Open.
Yeah.
And I was going back and forth with this guy to a point where I just thought, what am I arguing with this guy for? He's clearly just out to just rip this guy apart. But he was saying that, like, if he's never going to win the Olympia, what's the point? So basically what I'm saying is, the guys with the social media followings who are bigger than their fame as a bodybuilder and success as a bodybuilder, they tend to get really ripped apart by just people out there who are just, they're not bodybuilding fans. I don't think you can even call them that.
Well, people are jealous of other people's success. And, maybe Horse probably never will win Mr. Olympia. Okay. What if he makes tons and tons of money and has millions of fans? And is, has a long, fruitful career in bodybuilding and in content. And, what does it matter? Like you said, only 19 men have won the Mr. Olympia.
Yeah.
So, okay. That means Sean Ray didn't have a great career. Rich Gaspari, Lila Brada, Flex Wheeler, Kevin Leveroni. Come on.
Do you ever get sick of like some of the dumb comments you read? Because like sometimes I kind of get reeled into it, and I'll speak to someone as if they're like they know what they're talking about, and then sometimes you think not only you're saying with conviction and real sort of passion that you're making a really ridiculous comment, and you've got nothing to back it up with other than the fact that I've kind of just exposed you here. And it's like, okay, so let's take like Marcelo, guys like Joan Pradells, like they're making a fantastic living doing what they love to do. They've probably got a nice car. They go to the gym. They've got a lot of, their success. They've got, getting up and, you and me are basically failed bodybuilders. I mean, we are, really, let's look at, we looked at the magazines of Sean Ray, Kevin Leverone and Dorian and Ronnie, and we kind of wanted to be like them. We wanted to be sort of, that was kind of what our dream when we were like teenagers and stuff. And yeah, we managed to compete a few times and do okay. We managed to find our own role and our own way of contributing and being involved in the industry, which has really served us well. 30 years plus for both of us. Yeah. Like I just think sometimes, it's like guys like this who are like the top, not even they're more than the top 1%. It's like they're probably 0.01% that are making a fantastic living. It's like if you don't win the Olympia, then you're a complete failure. It's just that kind of mentality. I just think it needs to be called out, and it's just completely ridiculous. So stop it.
So to answer your question, do I ever get sick of reading stupid comments? Of course I do. Come on. Sometimes I'm nauseated.
Hey, Ron, I was so amped up the other week, right? I actually started to reply to a comment that was made by me. I put it on Facebook and I said, guys, I think I need to calm down a bit because I was getting so wound up by some of this was after the Charlie Kirk thing, and like, the whole, everything was like in social media was intense. The TV was intense. And I was actually triggered by a comment I'd made about something that I saw on a post that came up randomly on my feed. I just thought, I think that's where I need to really step back and take a breath now, because like, that's how sort of wound up you can get sometimes, And the thing is, you can't let it show either. So you have to be all kind of cool and casual about it. So I just thought it was really funny. And that's why I felt like I needed to post about it, because it was like, are we at that point now where we're bloody arguing with ourselves?
Well, let's move on. We got more guys on the show. From your neck of the woods, as we say, the shed, James Hollingshead. Mm-hmm. I wish James had more great posing footage of himself, but he doesn't. So a lot of this stuff is older, but he's been in shape pretty much all year. He's done a couple shows now. I think the best he's done this season was a 5th so far. Mm-hmm. But he's plugging along. He's with another new coach, and this is one day. So this is the latest update from Shed. Yeah, classic Shed. He looks like he's got a little more fullness than the last time I saw him.
His shoulders.
Yeah, his side shots are just spectacular.
I remember I couldn't take my eyes off him when I saw him at the LGK last year, and because I was sat there with Ronnie, and we're watching it, and I just couldn't take my eyes off his shoulders from the side. Like You know, like we all want that nice cap delt, so it makes us look wide across the clavicles.
Yeah,
but when he turned to the side, it looks like they're as wide as they are. Like it's like he's really got like 4D shoulders. Like when he did the rear bicep, like his front delts were up by his ears. Like the amount of size and depth and density and development in his shoulders. I mean, it's just. I mean, there look. I mean, it's just. You got to be honest. That's not. I mean, I've seen it in the flesh, and I just like it looks like he's got 4 heads to his delts. They're so thick. It's like his legs. I mean, his legs are just from the side. Those, you know, you can see why he squats as much as he does. You know, every single week. So I was chatting to James 2 days ago because he's still over in. I believe he's still over in Oslo, training at Harold's gym, which is a gym. That's the old school bodybuilding gym, the one that you know everyone trains. I think Tommy Torvaldsson used to train there because I went to Tommy Torvaldsson's supplement shop, which is just over the road. When I went in 2009, I was judging. It was like another pro show for this other random federation, and I was over there like a couple of years running. Samuel Haddad did it. He was the one who won it. Oh. And so he's over there because his partner Yannicka, is it girlfriend Yannicka, his wife?
Sounds right to me.
Yeah, she's Norwegian, so I think he's been over there, and of course they had the baby. So I'm guessing the reason they went there was to have support from the family with the new baby, and so then he's got a gym they can train at. It's kind of like a distraction-free, you know, full focus. He's got this contract, so he can live remotely wherever, you know. So it so I was chatting to him because I'm doing a world tour with Andrew Jack, which I'm going to be announcing officially in the next few days. And I spoke to Andrew and I said, look, Andrew, I said, on the tour, do you want to, because this is going to be a big one, mate, we're going to have a day or a couple of half-day breaks. I said, are you interested in, depending on the countries, do you want to do any collabs? Because like Ronnie likes to do them. We did with Nathan Diasha. Andrew Jack did one with Nathan Diasha last year. We did the Tommy Fury one with Ronnie, you know, that boxer. It's a nice way to break up the tour. They get some nice content and it's content from all over the world then. And Andrew said, yeah, I'd love to do a collab video with Sasan and James.
Oh, wow. Okay.
So, yeah, so I've got to so I said to James, are you back in the UK yet? I said, because in March, April, I says, I'm going to be doing this with Andrew. I said, can you find a gym? Let us know. I'll let you know the tour schedule. And then you let us know for the half day either side when we're in the area. We can get this done and hopefully we can make this work because I think him, Sasan and James, I mean, imagine that as a training session.
Yeah.
That's a video I want to watch.
Yeah, you know, I want to back up and say it's Shaun versus Joan, but I think James is also has to be in consideration for the win here. He's won a few shows. He's damn good when he's on.
Top 5 Arnold. He's been obviously 14th at the Olympia. I mean, he's won more than a handful of pro shows over the years. He's had a very, very good pro career. And the thing is, what were the show? He did the British show, and then was it Poland? He did.
I think those. Yeah, it sounds right. You're better than me.
The British one. I mean, he didn't look good. I mean, his arms looked small. His legs looked like he'd lost a lot of size. And then like Samson did at Prague, it showed you actually that it was just a kind of the size wasn't really lost. It was obviously some issues with peaking or whatever like that. Because at the second show, he looked. I know he was still he was top 5 still, but he did look a lot more like the James we know and love. Like the fullness was back, the density is back. So I'm hoping that continues and we see James kind of like back to his best. Because we never want to see that new season happening and then the first couple of shows it's like, oh shit, this is maybe the downward turn of your career now. So I like to see it when a couple of shows later, like to be honest, like Shaun Clarida did at the Prague last year, because at the Olympia last year, I think he was lucky to get second because Matt Jansen, whatever, it was all going horribly wrong there. Like Shaun Clarida said to me backstage after I got it on the video, and he said that was a shit show, obviously with regards to that prep. Yeah. And then it shows you what Samson did between the Olympia and Prague. It shows you what Clarida did between the Olympia and Prague last year. You can really claw it back, and you can really, I remember seeing Sean Tavernier gain 14 pounds because it was lost muscle for a bad prep. I remember he got 5th in the 2011 British Grand Prix, and I was really like, oh God, he's gone backwards. He looks smaller than when he turned pro. And then a few weeks later, of just working with a new coach and basically filling them back out, which is basically what like Samson and Clarida did. He managed to win Toronto 14 pounds heavier.
Wow.
14 pounds heavier. And he obviously, because the muscle was back, everything looked fuller and harder. And but it just shows you, like, what can be done actually. Because like I said, I didn't think Samson could regain that much size and muscle back in 2 weeks, but he did. I mean, it still wasn't like 2024 Olympia Samson, but it was bloody close. So my point is, I really hope that James continues that momentum of what he built at the second show, because if he looks better than Poland, then I think Joan and Shaun Clarida are going to be. I think they're going to really have a shed on their hands. Shed load of trouble.
Tonight on the Meathead podcast, I know 2 videos in one day. Jen used to tell me bad idea, but it is what it is. We're going to be talking. I got Chris Tuttle and Justin Compton. We're going to be talking about coach hopping. Coach hopping it's a silly name for guys, athletes going from coach to coach, and this is a list somebody compiled for James.
Oh God!
But does that look accurate to you? Has he worked with all?
No, I didn't know he worked with Evan and Nathan. Oh, Nathan, yeah, Chris, yeah, the wizard. I didn't know he'd worked with that many coaches. Thing is, when he turned pro in 2017, so that's over 8 years. Yeah. But even still, Ron, that's a lot of bloody coaches. My God, James.
Yeah, maybe I'll talk about it tonight, so we're not going to belabor the point here. But you know what? I'm really liking this look. Looks like this coach, Zach, is doing a great job with him, and
he's a nice guy. He's a cool guy.
He's definitely in the contention to win this. But let's keep going, because we've got more great athletes. We've got all the way from the United States of America, what was once the greatest nation in the world.
Still is.
Still is in some ways. We got the Beef Stu, Stuart Sutherland. Yeah, so Stu popped up earlier in the season, didn't do too well, didn't make first call out in. Did he compete once or twice? But he's back. That's an old show. So Ron, this is current. Yes. Sorry
to interrupt. That first photo, what can you just clarify what New York Pro that was from? The first one.
So let's see if there's a way to figure that out. 78 weeks ago. So this was 2024.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because he looks good there. He looks really good there.
Yeah, I was at that one. I was there with Christian. That's where we were covering. He was my coverage buddy. But when he's full and shredded and everything, Stu has a very, very good physique.
He's really good. Thing is, unfortunately, they're only good as your last show and stuff. I think people who don't have like photographic memories like me, I think that's something that is unfortunate. But that thing is, that's how most people's minds work. If they'll remember your last, most people don't have enough memory storage in their brains to be able to remember that, he was top 3 New York Pro. He was like a top 3, top 5 guy. So when they drop down, to bottom end second caller, that's really how you are sort of judged, really. If you're 8th in Olympia, you're judged number 8 in the world. Right. If you don't place the next year, of course, statistically, they're not as good as they were. So it's like Samson, he's 1 minute he's Mr. Olympia, the next minute he's like 4 or 5 in the world. So it's whether you remember him as a contest winner or how they placed in their last contest, which could have been like Clarida, the Olympia. You think, oh, they're on the slide now. But Stu, I really, really hope we see the Stu that we had the first year. That kind of level of because he wasn't as good. There's no sort of working around it. And the thing is, that could have been a bad prep. He might have had an injury. He might have been shooting too much. So, because when people like that and they hit the ground running with a really sort of strong first season, you kind of want to see them keep moving up and up and up. So when they start to slip, I'm trying to think of another example. It's disappointing, but I like Stu. I think he's good. I think he's got good symmetry. He's got good balance, and I certainly don't want to write him off after one, relatively, okay season, because I think he moved locations because his career was kind of taking off. I interviewed him a couple of years ago, and everything was kind of happening for him, and life was, things were just happening. He was making it as a pro, and he was getting some, his first year was excellent for him. Yeah. So I really hope that we see the Stu of, not the Stu of old, but back to his best, because when he's up there, he's a front runner in every single show he does.
I remember, I don't know if it was 22 or 23, it was him, Antonio Burton, battling for the win at the New York Pro. It was close. It was very close.
Yeah. Antonio's like, well, top 10 Olympia guy, isn't he? Legit.
Yeah, Antonio's been top 10 at the Olympia. He's been 8th, I think, twice now. So he's no joke.
Antonio's another one that kind of doesn't really, he pops up, does well, disappears, but does he just need to do more media or put himself out there more? Is his social media a bit, like, is he, because he's someone that really isn't, he's not someone we talk about all year round, but he's someone that when it matters, he pops up, he does really well, and then that's it. I feel like he just slips out of people's minds. I'm just wondering why that is.
In general, we're overstimulated now. We have so many people that we all follow. It's easy to forget about somebody if they don't put out content all the time.
Yeah.
But, it shouldn't have any bearing on, obviously the judges don't care, how many followers you have or how many videos you posted this week or TikTok story or whatever they're called. I don't know. TikTok.
do you have TikTok?
I downloaded it once and I got rid of it within a couple of days. I'm like, this is just.
Yeah, I feel like it's another life, mind drain. Because it's like, I was speaking to Lee Priest about this because he's just got it now. And I said, look, for you, mate, I said, someone that, you're not competing anymore. You're now a personality. Things like, I don't really have any feelings on Twitter. I don't know whether there's even any benefit for pros to even do it, even the legends. And unless you've got, the thing is, it's not something like Twitter. You can't really have someone do it for you. Yeah. Because it has to be your spontaneous thoughts that, you post, do, and that's how it is. But TikTok, I was talking to Lee about like the benefits of being active on there, because someone like Lee could probably make a really, really good revenue stream from it because of the way But then again, to do it all yourself, I think you need, like, Ronnie's TikTok is all handled by him for him. That's why I said, I always wonder about, like, say, Ronnie's fame. Like when we're at airports, we've been in obscure European airports. And we could be 5 a.m. and you get we've had 60-year-old women coming up to him going, Ronnie, come in here, buddy. And I'm like, I actually said, excuse me, do you speak English? She says, how do you know who he is? And she went, TikTok, TikTok, TikTok. And thing is, that's you can make an unbelievable living just from, Ronnie could do it just from having somebody cutting up old stuff and, forget about all the new stuff that he's up to and his personality and what he says and thinks nowadays. Yeah. It's like, so someone like, someone like yourself, maybe there's benefits to it, but it's always because there's so many different platforms out there. You just think, which one do I go for? And I just do Instagram and Facebook anyway. Yeah. But look at Stu's midsection there. Looks good, doesn't it?
Yeah, he could be another one battling up there. I think this is he looks better here than he did at the Texas and Tampa Pro shows earlier in the season.
The ab and thigh looks good. That's a nice shot for him.
I'm glad that that kept on instead of just, hang it up and wait till next year, because there are all these shows spread out throughout the year now, and they give people a chance for redemption. Like, what if he comes into this looking amazing and either wins or, top 5? I think very, very good chance of top 3, top 5. And people will suddenly
not top three. Yeah. Unless he's made some significant improvements. There's nothing more exciting than remember when Gustavo Badell, 2002, he was 22nd at the Olympia, comes back 2 years later, and then 2 years on the trot, 2014, gets 3rd place. Who saw that coming? When he's like NASA, when he made those big improvements from 94 to 95, and Milos would claim that's down to him. No, because they used to train together. And things like Ronnie with Chad Nichols, he'll openly say, Chad, bumped up my food. He bumped everything. He changed everything, switched everything up. Sometimes when you start doing things differently, different things happen. So someone like a Stu is one of those guys that I secretly am rooting that would make some kind of significant improvements, because his structure, his overall shape and density, and also things like his personality and what he brings to the industry, because he is a colorful character and he's a nice guy. I found him very, very deeply interesting guy to speak to. And also he's very honest and he's very funny. So guys like that are the ones that kind of, we sort of, like I said, secretly or whatever you want to call it, they're the ones that we're kind of rooting for to kind of jump up and start winning shows left, right, and center. So, yeah. More Stu, please.
And he had that cool modified AR-15 assault rifle too. I love that.
Did he? Mate, I'm British. I hate guns, mate.
I know, it's okay. It's an American thing.
I don't like all that shit. I don't like all that. So don't get me into a conversation on guns because it'll blow up into a massive argument.
All right, let's go back to the UK then. Mark. So Mark, I didn't know Mark was going to keep competing this season, but he's up.
Nor did I.
Here he is again. I mean, that's almost every name on that list. I'm like, oh, wow, okay. I had no idea. So this is Patrick posted this. Patrick Tour, his latest update from 4 days ago. So this is right before leaving for Japan. Yeah, he's damn good. Someone did notice that he's still having trouble with his lat spread mainly. And I think that's a shoulder mobility because he's had, and I can sympathize, he's had shoulder surgeries. He's come back. He's managed to build all the mass back. And he's got a very good overall physique for sure.
As you know, mate, I'm a huge Mark fan. And he's one guy that I actually thought would be like Andrew. Like I said, Andrew was with Samson. I felt like he would be nipping at Samson's heels by now, because I felt like he was one of those guys that had the potential to go to that level. But the thing is, he's now working with Patrick Tour, and for me, that gets me very excited because straight away, even at these kind of rubbishy quality pictures, you can see that there's more going on with the conditioning. Look at the glutes, the hams, the back separation. I've never seen that on Mark before. But those photos you posted before, that's not a good most muscular shot to do with the angle, the way the pose was hit. That wasn't, I don't get excited about that. He looks a little bit, he looks very, very flat in these pictures, but he does look sharp. And I do trust Patrick Tour to know what the hell he's doing because he is one of the best coaches in the world. I mean, his track record is just, it speaks for itself. But I'm really excited to see what him. I'm surprised actually they decided to do a show so quickly after working together. I thought maybe he would have shut it down to work on doing an off season together, but Mark clearly wanted. I mean, I'd have to ask Mark to see what his reasoning was, and Patrick. I'll message them both after this actually and say what, because if I do it in time, I'll jump on the live and I'll explain. I'd be curious to see what even in this short space of time, what they can do working together because. I'm a huge Mark fan and I like the guy, and that's relevant. But he's someone that I feel like the next year or two, if it really works well between him and Patrick, I think that's his best chance of success. And I'm so glad that it looks like he's got the shoulder sorted. Because
I was going to say the rear lat spread doesn't look as unbalanced as it did just a few months ago. They seem to have fixed it up quite a bit.
Is it rear double bicep he struggles with? Because like I said, when I took Terrence Ruffin to that to his old coach Cuba thing, that meetup thing, it was part of the tour. He wasn't hitting certain poses because he leant over and said to Cuba, because Cuba said get up there and with Terrence, and he kind of went over, and I was like, I said to Lauren, I said, I bet you that's something to do with his shoulder, and it was. Because I think he must have said to him, look, I can do the compulsories, but there's a couple of shots that are going to be, it's not worth me even trying to hit them because he probably does it when he's on stage because he has to, when he's competing because he has to, he can't miss out poses. But I'm excited to see what these two working together will produce. I'm surprised he's kept on going actually.
Yeah, I can tell you from experience, when your shoulder is fucked, you can't do a front lat spread. You can't do a rear lat spread. You can't do a front double bicep. You can't do a rear double bicep. You probably can't even do an abdominal and thigh. So
wow, really?
You can hit like two poses. That's about it. So
literally, Rod, literally right now, my shoulder is hurting. Literally just leaning on here like this. That's why I keep doing this all the time. I mean, now my shoulder is a lot better. Also, I've just got another batch of BPC and TB500.
There you go.
I've got 10 of each. I'm going to mix them up tonight and start stabbing them into myself tonight because my shoulder is overhead pressing, heavy overpress is out. My chest is. I've never been strong on chest anyway. I can get by, but I'll be interested to see if not for general, but general prevention and see if there's any improvement in my shoulder, which is I can deal with this. It's not painful, but be interesting to see if that helps a little bit more. But I'll like I said, by the time you watch this, guys, on the live, I'll be on the on the comments below. I should have some information because I'll message both Patrick and Mark.
Okay. No, I thought you were going to say your shoulder would be all fixed by the time this goes live. All right, let's move on from UK all the way to, come on, load for me there. Okay, here we go. We're going to China for Shuming Yan, who, what is his name on the
Changes,
score?
isn't it?
No, I mean, the score sheets have a different name.
Yang.
Liang, Liang, Yan, and I don't know if they use a different, the middle name is first. I don't even want to pretend that I know what the hell I'm talking about. But this guy's very good. You've seen him. You saw him actually turn pro and make his pro debut the next day a couple years ago. 22. So thick, so dense. He looks like he's about 3 feet tall. I'm sure he's not. He's probably taller than that.
Look at the calves.
Wow.
He's got more muscle in my calves than I've got in my entire lower body. Like, when was the China Pro? When was this, mate?
So China Pro was about 3 months ago at this point, I believe.
Where did he place here, mate? Do you know?
I don't. So that was 20 weeks ago.
He's like a Chinese Flex Lewis, isn't he?
Yeah, I mean, he was top 5, wasn't he?
He's just. I mean, he's just phenomenal, isn't he? Because I saw him. He won the heavyweights under 100 kilo, and he was apparently bang on 100 kilos. So he was just into the heavyweights. And what is it, like 5'4", 5'5"? He won the amateur because I was there because usually I fly in and I'll just catch because I'll get to the hotel. I'm like, oh, let's just go over and I'll say to Lauren, let's go over and catch the end of the amateurs and just say hi and pick up our passes, our lanyards, And I just caught the end because everyone was like, have you seen this new heavyweight? Have you seen the Chinese guy? He's incredible. And he just look at the legs. But he just blew my socks off. And then they were like, because there was a rumor of whether he was going to do open or 212 because that Radislav who ended up winning the 212 back at the hotel, he said, Giles, told you this story before. He said, Giles, that Chinese guy, he says, you don't know if he's going to do the open or 212, do you? And I put my hand on his shoulder and I said, Radislav, I said, there's no way that he's going to drop 8 pounds overnight. I said, you're safe. I said, because I think he's going to do open. And he went, oh, that's good. And he was like, oh, phew. Because he ended up taking 5th in the open. I mean, from turning pro. And it was a good lineup. I mean, it was incredible. The Romania show always is an incredible lineup. But, mate, you've got to see this guy in the flesh. He's phenomenal. And, and he's someone that photographs, like the studio shoots, you just think, my God, is this like this? Like that just looks, that reminds me of some of the 90s, like Lee Priest type, David Paul photo shoots where you're just eyes pop out and stalks, but so thick. And it's funny because he was so polite because I asked him for an interview and he responded. And usually if they're not interested, they'll just ignore you. And he said a really polite response saying, he says, no, I'm very sorry. This is not possible. Thank you.
I interviewed him.
Okay, well, at least you replied.
I was able to interview him because he was briefly with Kevin Levroni's supplement company.
That's right.
And he had a translator. So, obviously with a translator, anything's possible. But hardworking, humble guy. I wish him the best. Those legs, those calves, just insane. You think these are AI. You think this isn't even a real picture. But then you see the stage photos and you realize, oh, he actually does look like that. That's real.
Do you? I mean, if you were, I can't imagine because he was when he turned pro, he was 100 kilos. So that's 220 pounds. If you were advising him, would you say if he's getting like 5th, 6th, 7th, 8th in open shows, would you say like Ronnie Raquel or Hidetada, who's just teetering on the 220, 225 mark or in their best shape on stage, or Flex Lewis 225 at his best, 226, would you say maybe suck it down to 212 for a season just to see how you do? Because I can't imagine 8 pound off him, he'd still be so big and thick. I mean, I can't imagine him even ever going flat, even if he cut down to 212. What do you think, mate?
I would say why not try a show, maybe not a whole season as a 212, but try a couple shows, see what they look like. The condition would be insane, obviously. It would have to be.
Because remember when Ronnie Raquel was getting like 6th place at the Olympia, he had a couple of 6th. Hidetada, he was getting regular top 10s as a 220, 225 guy. I mean, I'm guessing 225. So how would he do as a 212? I'm just wondering because it wouldn't hurt, would it? It wouldn't hurt.
I think there would be a benefit, so I would like to see it. I mean, like I said, so maybe if he's a little flat, he's so thick, what difference would it even make?
That's my point. Yeah, I agree. That's what I'm saying.
Condition would be even better than what we're seeing here, I bet.
Yeah, I mean, I wonder what, because I know he was 220. And the thing is, his condition wasn't as good as it is now he's pro. So I'm wondering if he's no higher than say 225.
Yeah.
Then I'm wondering if it maybe just try and suck it down, because you could prep for your end shows as an open, but you could maybe try even after an open show, after you've done a couple of open shows, maybe because going back to my point of Ronnie Raquel and Hidetada, those were guys that were doing well as opens, but they decided to jump into the 212 and the 202, and they ended up winning like lots and lots of shows, and then instead of being top 10 at the Olympia, they're like top 5, top 3. So I'm just wondering if it's something worth considering, or whether he's 230 sucked right down as an open and it's just not an option.
Size of the arms, I can't really see that, but they're big.
Imagine his food bill.
Oh God! Anyway,
he's a beast, isn't he? Imagine what he squats.
Oh, I'm sure he's on leg day. I'm sure he's very, very well accomplished. Let's move on to Florian Poisson. He's from France, correct? Help me out.
Yep.
Yeah, come on, Ron. If you didn't know that was a French name, where you been? So this was 2 days ago. It's black and white, like the old Dorian videos. Very good guy. Very good competitor.
The legs.
I don't know if I've ever seen him in person. Have I seen him? I know you have.
Do you remember when he because he won in Portugal, didn't he? And then he got 4th, I think, in the Portugal Bro. I've got 2018 in my head. And then because he looked fantastic. I think he was absolutely amazing. He got 4th. I'm sure he beat Samson, and he beat, was it Valier? No, Valier won that one, I think. Because that was the one that Hadi won, and Vulad was second. Nikas Vulad was second, right before he switched over permanently to the Open. But Florian is, because Florian tried over and jumped over into Classic, and I have no idea how he made it that with those legs, the amount of muscle he carried in his legs. I have no idea how he made it down to Classic, because the kid is so thick.
Yeah.
He reminds me of Dennis Wolf with better calves.
I mean, that most muscular. Yeah, I mean that most muscular reminds me very much of Dennis Wolf. The traps, the delts, the chest.
But he's someone that really, because he needs to bring the back up. I mean, I just hope to see that he's like Ramy was those years where he was getting bigger, but it was the same strengths and weaknesses, and he wasn't addressing the weaknesses and trying to bring everything into balance. Like sometimes bodybuilders think it's just about becoming bigger and bigger and bigger, but sometimes it's not about increasing the scale, it's about increasing the symmetry. It's about fixing those weak points to bring everything to balance. And then by all means, if you want to get bigger, then figure that out. But I think Florian's one of these guys, I don't really know why he's placed. I always feel like he maybe is, I feel like he should be doing better than he is, because I think he's really good. And he's got no glaring weaknesses. So he's another guy like Stu, who I'm hoping and waiting for that jump up in his career. That to say, okay, I finally, I've got a new coach. I'm doing something. I'm doing this, and this differently, and I'm ready to move up, because his career is kind of like ticking along. He's been open, then he's been classic, and now he's gone back to open like horse. He's kind of switching back and forth. But I hope he's one of those guys that is kind of like literally a new Dennis Wolf, and achieving the same kind of success as a Dennis Wolf, because this kid is good, and he's. I want to see him move up now.
All right,
we're ready.
I didn't know who he was, but you looked at the list, and I'll give him a follow with that. Artem Pakhniuk from Mother Russia, and this was a week ago. Big boy. If that was a week ago, the condition is not thrilling me in that particular photo.
No, it is not.
No, I hope that was. So this was 3 weeks ago. It actually looks a little better there. That must have been competition day at some show, I'm guessing.
Yeah, I saw Artem. I'm not sure if I saw him turn pro. The memory's a bit hazy, but the name did jump out at me, because I remember him. There was Romania a few years ago, around about, probably would have been 21 or 22, and he did really. I think he won the supers and then he competed in the pros, and I think he made top 10 or something. But he was one of those guys that kind of jumped out as like, oh, this, nice delts, nice legs. But it's nice to see them, a couple of years later coming back. So I'm curious to see what improvements he's made, because I thought he was really, really good. And he was a very, very strong amateur, and he deserved to win his pro card. So it'd be interesting to see if he's made any improvements, because, like I said, he was pretty good.
Good luck, comrade.
Big Russian squatting 800 pounds there.
Is he? Yeah, he is. Good
hang on, bloody hell! I was joking. Hang on, how many plates, Ron?
It looks like 7,
6, 7.
I think it's 7. So that would be. Is that a Smith machine? Because then it doesn't count.
I think anything, because how often, I'll be honest now, don't get me started on the whole phone thing and how people trade nowadays, and cables and cuffs doing laterals and all that bollocks. It's like when I'm training and stuff, because I still train pretty hard, I'm psyching myself. I'm not like banging my head against a wall or going crazy, but it's very internalized. But sometimes people look at me, they'll give me a side eye in the gym, and like experienced trainers who've got muscle, and they'll look at me and they're like, what is he doing? I'm like, it's called training, mate. I'm not fannying around on my phone. See, anyway, you already got me caught on I'm going off on a tangent already. But like, how often do you see now anyone squatting anything over 2 plates? It's such a rarity. So when you see someone like this, if anyone in the gym, I ever see anyone, squatting anything over 3 plates, I'll stop and I'll watch, because it gets me fired up, because I love to see it, and I love to see proper deep reps. And I could watch James Hollingshead squat all day, because that guy is doing 7 plates right down, and it's week in, week out, and he's not screaming the place down, and it's like there's no chalk and all this bollocks. He's just getting under the weight, banging it out. I love to see, and I'm not Smith machine, not pendulum squat, not hack squat. I like to see good old fashioned back squat. When was the last time you saw it, Ron?
Well, I'm lucky enough at the gym I go to, Bayshore Athletic Club in Braintree, Massachusetts. We probably have between 10 and 20 guys who routinely squat 5 plates or more for rep.
Wow, awesome!
Yeah, we have some very, very strong people at that gym. It kind of makes me sad, because I look and say, man, I used to do that. There's no way I couldn't even get that off the rack now without something popping or tearing. But it is very inspirational, absolutely.
I'm nearly back to 3 plates, because the thing is, I've got away. I remember Jose Raymond. We're on. I think we're on this a year ago or something. And he said, Giles, you're the kind of similar age, because I'm 49. I've been training since I was 13. And he said, have you got any injuries or anything? I said, well, I had a bit of a shoulder at the time. And I said, it's getting better, I think. And he says, what about your hips, your knees? I said, elbows. I said, no problems. I've had, obviously over the years, I've had issues, but I've had no tears or, nothing snap. But he was talking about, So my point is, like, there's the 3 plate squat for me. I don't want to go any heavier than that. I want to be able to do that every week.
Yeah,
6 to 8, nice deep reps. Because there's a girl at my gym. She's 18 now.
Oh boy,
she was it, but she's in her first competitive season. She broke 4 world records and 3 European records.
Wow.
So she's 17, and she's 90 kilos. She deadlifts I think 4 or 5 plates. I think 4.5, 5 plates. She works at my gym. She's lovely, Liv, and it's depressing that a 17-year-old girl squats more than me.
Yeah, it happens though.
Even if she's a world champion, it still grates on me, mate.
All right, now this is a story. I'm not going to dwell on this, but our good friend Matt from Muscle Discord, he tried to break what he thought was a big scandal, and I don't see it as a scandal, that Tyler Manion, who is the vice president of both the NPC and the IFBB Pro League, the grandson of the founder of both, Jim Manion. Oh, Jim didn't found the IFBB, but you know what I'm saying. Anyway, long story short, he's dating this young woman who is a pro in, what is she a pro in? Bobby is a pro in
wellness.
Is it wellness? Okay.
Yeah,
so
she's good. She's really good.
Okay, so that's his new girlfriend, and I guess he shouldn't be allowed to date people that are pros, but she's not an active competitor. He was with another bikini pro, a very top bikini pro, for a couple of years, Attila, and she stopped competing because, yes, it would be a total conflict of interest for this guy who is a head judge at many, many pro shows. He's a vice president of the organization. For him to be dating an active competitor, yeah, I could see that would be a massive conflict of interest, and I would frown upon that. But
I don't.
Even if they were still competing?
No, fine. I've got no issue with that whatsoever.
What if you
because integrity of a judge. Okay, so if fair enough, if she's on stage and he's in the judging panel, then yeah, I can see a conflict of interest. Because I've seen it where I think it was a NABBA show years ago, and there was a gym owner, a very well-known gym owner, and he used to have a lot. I mean, it was like a farm for producing, like muscle works and salve. Like all, like sometimes 5 of the 6 top heavyweights at the British Championships would all be his guys from that particular one gym. And this guy, he had 2 lads in this actual class, and he stood up and he said, "Guys," he made it quite clear so everyone could hear. He said, "Guys, I have a conflict of interest here because 3 of my lads actually are in this lineup. Out of this 10 lads," he said, 3 of these, and they were good as well. I think they were probably 3 of the top 5. Okay. He says, "I'm going to remove myself from this because I see it as a conflict of interest." Okay. But the only instance, if you're disagreeing, aren't you?
No, I believe if he's recusing himself, if he would do that, that's of course I have no problem. I would just have a problem with somebody judging their significant other, loving, whatever you want to call it.
That's. I mean, I don't think anyone would put up with that. But I think if she's still competing and she wants to compete, and he's not judging physically there and then, I've got absolutely no issue with it. Because the thing is, Ron. Like, I mean, I was just thinking then, actually, as soon as you said this, I'm thinking my last 6 girlfriends going back to 2000, over the 25 years, my last 6 ladies, I think I've met all through bodybuilding shows.
Where else are you going to meet? You know what? I mean.
Exactly. Yeah. Hang on. NABBA show. Yeah. Mum was a judge. I wasn't competing. I was just a media guy. Yeah. Then there was the girl on the poster that it was a girl, a promotions girl at a show. I started dating her, and then the girl, after she saw her on the post and she competed, and then I met her. Then, another one, Rosie was a competitor. I bumped into her at a show. She was Lauren. I met her at the Brandon Curry Olympia All-Star Tour. So you meet, if that's what your life is 24/7, 365 days a year, you're not going to singles bars on the weekends because you're bloody flying here, there, and everywhere. Where are you supposed to? And you can't. If you find somebody attractive and you meet someone, you can't stop that from happening. I just think that's just not how the world works, mate.
I mean, that is Tyler's whole life. I mean, he's been going to these shows since he was like I think in middle school. But he's on the road every weekend. These guys
work hard, mate. These guys work hard.
I mean, those are long hours. Those guys and girls who do the judging, they're at those tables for hours on end. Even you commentating, it's the same amount of hours. It's like 12-hour, 14-hour days. Where are you going to meet? When do you even have time to meet anyone that's outside the industry that you're putting in, God knows, 60, 80 hours a week of your life into in person? So I don't see a problem with it. The only instance I would say that's not right is if he was judging someone on stage who was his current girlfriend. Yeah, then I could have an issue, but it's not a scandal, and I just found it amusing that so many people latched onto it and said, yeah, because people are always looking for something scandalous that they can complain about and commiserate about, and that was what they latched onto.
Your life would have to be pretty sad and pathetic if that's what you need to focus on. Because and like the thing is, like, I mean, I've been next to Tyler, and I mean, I've watched him because usually the live stream table is usually right next to the judges. And I was in Spain last year doing the Impro. I think I said to Lauren or AJ, I went like that. I went, "Look at him, watch him." And he was like that. I said, "Does that guy ever blink?" Because his level of concentration, the way he looked at that table. Sometimes you see judges like leaning back on chairs and, and kind of just, sometimes you see him a little bit distracted. And, I'm not saying that's but I was watching him and I kept checking over to see if and he just and you're talking 8-10 hours. And then they have to deal with all the feedback and everything else. And I was just thinking, I said to Lawrence, I couldn't judge. I couldn't do that. So I've got absolutely zero issue with it. Good luck to him, and they make a lovely couple, and I hope I wish the best for him. So
the last thing I want to mention is I appreciate the fact that he does these breakdowns of the shows usually Monday after.
Yeah.
Tells you why people placed where they did, gives such detailed critique, like he needs to lift his elbow up a little bit in this side chest, or move his foot in a little bit on the ab and thigh. Very, very detailed analysis and breakdown that he does not have to do. In the old days, if you didn't like a placing, tough titty.
Yeah, tough titty, yeah.
Right. There was no explanation. They didn't feel they owed it to the fans or the media people or anything. And Tyler goes out of his way to make these very long, detailed videos explaining it, which, again, he doesn't have to do that. He's not getting paid any extra to do that or anything like that. So good on him.
Ron, honestly, because it's funny because these people like talk about these, like, have you actually watched one all the way through? I remember, because I don't watch all of them. I watch them very, very occasionally because I kind of, and usually I just watch it. I usually find myself agreeing with pretty much everything anyway. Sometimes I don't. But I do think they're very valuable because I think, to be honest, it's like I said about they've been judging all day long and then they get loads of people coming up asking for feedback. I think this is to counteract that because, like, at the end of the day, like, they probably just want to go to the bathroom. They want to get some food. They want to get some sleep. They might be dealing with jet lag from the week before when they were in this country and then that country. It's like, I think this is a good job to counteract that. But I think it's a fantastic idea. And I think it's very, very helpful because, like the whole incident the other week, I mean, that is about my constant feedback for the athletes. And the amateurs seem to really appreciate it. And the pros, most of the pros do actually, on the whole. I know we have those occasional, disgruntled competitors not happy with what you said a year ago, whatever. I find that on the whole, proper critique from, with positive, constructive critique is definitely appreciated. I mean, how could it not be? Because you're giving reasons why. It's like say Nick could be like, how did Derek beat me in this pose? And at least now Tyler is actually going out and saying, well, this is what I think. This is what, he's an experienced, qualified judge. He's the one, these are the guys making the decisions. And at least he's telling them why. He's not fobbing them off or, sort of like, well, because otherwise competitors could get fourth place in the show, look back and think, hang on a minute, like, how do I get first? How do I come back next year and improve it? Am I just not cut out for this? At least now you can tell someone so they can actually take it and run with it. And also one little final thing is somebody was talking about overall criticism. And I kept seeing this word pop up. And it's like, this is why competitors don't appreciate the criticism. And I said, no, there's a very, very big difference between criticism and critique. They're two, if you actually look up the meanings of the word, the two things are very, very different. And critique is what I give because it means it's about how they could be better. So I think these things like that Tyler does, it helps all of us. It helps the media, helps the competitors, it helps the shows, and it allows the standard to improve because at least then, they're not just flying blindly. It means then actually they know why they place where they are, why so-and-so placed ahead of so-and-so. And, the detail that they break it down to is so valuable for the industry and it helps everything to grow.
Yeah, like you said, say somebody gets third call out and all their friends say you were robbed, it was politics, it's because you don't have the right sponsor or your social media following. And you can fall into that trap and go, yeah, I'm a victim. But when you hear a good, honest critique that's detailed and genuine, the way Tyler and someone else, or even the critiques that you make, it's constructive criticism. So I guess critique is closer to constructive criticism. Criticism is really just pointing out the flaws, the bad things.
That's punching down.
Yeah,
that's punching down. That's someone that's like me. So that's like me going on a commentary or and saying this guy sucks.
Yeah,
I mean, I love Shaun Ray, but sometimes some of his was brutal. I mean, he was brutal, and in fact, I think it got to the point where it was almost dismissive. Because I was thinking, come on, Shaun, you've got more knowledge than that. You can give a bit more. You can give a bit more than that because what these people, your words do have a lot of clout. They have a lot of meaning, and you can either make somebody or break someone because sometimes that's all they've got to go on. Right. I mean, like I said, when I do the amateur shows, I'll be checking my phone in between classes and I'll check my DMs and stuff. And there's people video grabbing, screen grabbing or whatever, the video content, and they're going, and they're getting all the experts, whatever, the panel's kind of thoughts and feelings as it is recorded live, and they're like, they say like, this is so valuable. I now know what I can work on or what category I'm supposed to be in, because a lot of amateurs might do 2 or 3 categories in the same show, and they don't know how their new version of their physique is going to fit, because sometimes physiques change, they get bigger and better and whatever, and they can head naturally in a certain direction. I mean, for the women, how do you even decide what category you want to do? I mean, it's like Missy now going from fitness Olympia to figure. It's a completely different arena. I mean, it's a bit different for the guys because they can go 212 open like Shaun Clarida can. He can jump back and forth, and he can do that. But he knows that he's a legit 212, but also a good open competitor. So I think it's important to give critique, because otherwise, what do they have to go on? I mean, otherwise it's purely the coach just telling them, this is how good you are. This is what you're meant for. This is what we need to improve on. Because unfortunately, a lot of, especially with social media, because you can block people. So anyone giving constructive critique, potentially in amongst all the shit talkers, you know how it is, mate. But I think it's important. I think Tyler doing these videos is very good.
And that's where we'll end it. So again, Japan Pro happening next Monday over in Japan. I don't know if there's going to be a stream or not, but if you go to ifbbpro.com, there's links there to the Japan Pro website, and you can check that out. And that's it. Next time we'll talk about some tours that you've got. Go ahead.
A couple of things. Something I wanted to bring up at the start and the end of this episode, but we went straight into the Japan Pro, is, Ron, give me 2 of your silliest habits.
Silliest habits?
2 that just don't make any sense.
Getting my gym outfit ready for the next day, the night before, and laying it out.
Dear.
Why do I need to do that? I mean, I'll
tell you what, I'll give you 2 off the top of my head, 2 very, very that make no sense, that probably makes people think, yeah, Giles is a bit of a weirdo. And I'll tell you what, next episode, let's come up with some others that we kind of discover through the week when we're just living our daily lives, because I think, and also in the comments as well, guys, we want to hear your silly comments, silly habits. My one, I've got one. I did Globe Muscle.
Yeah.
I had a habit of mouth washing before every interview because I was paranoid. Like the fact that somebody's on a screen, like I always mouthwash before I do interviews, and even when it's online. That makes no sense, but yeah. And also another one is when Lee Priest pointed this out, and he was like shaking his head. He's like, "Are you mental?" He's when in hotels, because I like my double espressos in the morning. I'll go to the machine and I'll put like 4, even 6 shots of espresso in a cup. And then I'll get another cup and I'll put a black coffee in there, Americano. So anyway, I put them on the table and I have them both on the table next to each other. So Lee says, he's like the 3rd or 4th day, we're kind of having breakfast. He's like, Giles, can I just do something quickly? He said, I've been watching you for the last few days. He said, I'm just going to do something. He picks the coffee up and pours it into the other one. So he's like, and I was like, oh yeah. He's like, Giles, I've been watching you and I've been thinking about it, talking to my wife about it at night when I'm ringing home, trying to figure out why do you do this? And I said, I have no idea.
I mean, Janet could probably think of a million of mine. One more I just thought of is if I have a plate of food with protein and carbs on the same plate, I eat all the protein first, then I eat the carbs.
Oh yeah. That's standard practice. Yeah. Okay. That's the proper meatheads approach. I said to Lauren, because I was watching her the other day, and I said, "Why are you eating your carbs first?" I said, I mean, are you supposed to be? Do you want to make gains? It's always protein first, then everything else second. Come on.
Yeah, and I have to have my shake right after I train. Right after. Like some people say, can I go home? No, you can't go home. It has to be. It's got to be in my locker. And if I don't drink it right away, I feel like I wasted the workout. And I'm going to lose all my gains. That's just.
So come on, guys. We want to hear it in the comments. We want to hear your silliest habit that makes no sense, but that's something regardless. And even though you might be fully conscious of it, because I used to do the mouthwash thing just completely as a complete with a complete sense of normalcy and then sometimes when you sit there and you're in the kitchen or something and you're making food and you think, why do I do that? Like, why? You know? So
I bet if I asked Janet, she could come up with like 1,000 or 2,000 of my stupid. She wouldn't say silly. She'd just say they're stupid habits. Yeah.
Exactly. You got to ask the partners, and they'll be like, "Well, let me get a list."
How long do we have? So, all right. Well, let's wrap it up. Giles, thank you so much. Appreciate that. So, Japan Pro coming up, guys, and then there's only one more open show for 2025 happening in Alicante, Spain.
Oh, Alicante. Oh, yeah. Big man.
Big man's the last one, but we're almost at the very end of the season, guys. So, exciting stuff. And that's it. Thank you, Giles, for taking the time, as always. And we will see you guys tonight at 7 p.m. live on the Meathead Podcast. And
how's it going?
Oh, it's going well. Tonight we have Chris Tuttle and Justin Compton.
Justin, man.
Co-chopping.
Sorry, Ron, but Justin, Splitsy's back on the table again. She wants food. Splitsy, come say hi. Come on. Justin Compton, man, there was a guy that I'm really gutted he retired. I know he did for whatever reasons, for health reasons and stuff, but I remember seeing him when he took 8th at the 2016 Olympia, and man, that guy had some crazy potential. Some of the photo shoots that Per Bernal did in muscular development back then, I mean, he was something special. So I think he's still quite young, so maybe you can talk him into coming back one day.
I'll probably talk him into it today. Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
Shouldn't take much. So so that's tonight, guys, live at 7 p.m. on this channel. And that's it, man. Thanks for watching Power Hour with Tiger and Ronster, and we will see you next time. Later.